don't know what time you're watching this video, but it's early where I am. And I just wanted to jump on here real quick and make a quick video about how to get your first property purchased, whether you're looking to do a fix and flip, which is really hot right now in the way the market is. Hold on, it's kind of loud. I'm gonna wait till I pass this. It's a fantastic way to get started, really low risk, really high rewards compared to some of the other ways. Eventually, you obviously want to try some other strategies to see what strategy is really perfect for you. But wholesaling is a really good way. So if you're looking to wholesale and you're like, I don't really have a ton of money to get started right now, I want to talk to you guys about doing some joint ventures. And a joint venture is pretty much you partnering up with somebody else, and you help them on their transaction. So for instance, right now, let's say I'm actually personally working on a couple JVs right now. So let's say, I'm on a lot of people's email lists, okay? And you can be too. So what you do is just get on people's email list, or you join Facebook groups, or you just friend people that's very active in the real estate community that you're looking to work in. And when they receive properties, you help them with their properties. So I have a nice buyers list in several different markets. So somebody who don't really have a good buyers list, or just maybe finding buyers isn't their thing, or they're having trouble finding buyers, or they just want to get the transaction sold really quick, they can partner up with me. I can partner with them, so it'll be a win on both sides. And the great thing about JVs is you do half of the work. So for instance, when I market for my own properties, let's say I market my own properties, I get it under contract, so I gotta do all the steps to do that. Then I have to go out and find a buyer. I do all of the steps to do that. Then I get it into title company, it closed, and I did everything. So the good thing about when you do it that way, obviously you get to keep the money to yourself. But by the time you get from A to Z, you burnt out. Honestly, you're super burnt out. And everybody's personality is different, but burnout is a real thing. Definitely, for sure, for all different type of people I talk to, burnout is definitely a real thing. So for me, by the time you're done, you got more leads. It's come on, it's time to do another one. So you man, give me a while, give me a couple weeks, give me a month to enjoy what I just did, But when you JV with somebody, you get to the luxury of taking half of that burden off of yourself, because somebody else is actually producing half of that energy for you. So if I find the properties, then the other person is going to provide the buyers. And I only talk to the seller. I only work on the seller end. I only talk to them. I only deal with them. I only have to update them. And I don't have to deal with the buyer at all. Now, obviously, there's going to be certain things that I'm going to need to know about the buyer, or things I'm going to need from the buyer. But the great thing is I can just talk to my partner about it, my JV partner, let them know, and then they deal with that. They call the buyer, they get on all of that stuff or whatever to deal with the buyer, and I'm just dealing with the seller. And vice versa. You can do it the other way too. Like I said, if you get on people's buyers list and they email you properties, and let's say you got a nice buyers list yourself, or you got other people that in the industry that you work with, or even if you don't, you can create this, you can build this from scratch. You know, everybody have to build it from scratch anyway. So you can actually build it from scratch by starting a buyer's list. And that's just like, you can do that in a bunch of, it's 100 different ways to do it. But some ways is just like, you know, when you post your properties on Craigslist and people start to reach out to you, you know, add them to your buyer's list. Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace, auctions, REI groups, just networking period in general with people that's in the real estate industry and you're in the area you work in, you know, and then just add them all to a big old list. So when you get properties in, you can send it to them. So that is how you build up your buyers list. All right, a little windy out here, a little noisy, but I'm gonna do my best to get this video done real quick. Just a couple more things that I want to touch on. So build that buyers list, and now you're in a position to JV with people who bring you sellers. And that's my favorite way is well, I'm not gonna say that. Either way, either end is good. Either you're on the buyer's end or the seller's end is really good. But let's just talk about being on the buyer, because initially this video was talking about like if you don't have money to market. So if you don't have money to market, then you don't have sellers. All you can do is focus on the buyers right now. So build up that buyers list, and then just reach out to people who have sellers, who have properties for sale that you can kick off to these buyers. Okay, couple of tips that you're gonna want to know when you're JVing. So let's say you get on somebody's email list, or you're in a Facebook group, and they send you over, or you see a property that you think, hey, these numbers look like they can possibly work, look like this is going to be a good deal. So you don't want to just blindly steal their information. You don't want to just take the property address, the photos, and just start posting it all over the place and sending it to people. You don't want to do that. That's called a daisy chain, and that's the quickest way to get you the worst reputation in the business, to the point where people know you don't know what you're doing, and they're not going to want to work with you. So you don't want to do that. Do not do that. You want to reach out to the person, let them know, hey, you can even position yourself as the buyer, like, hey, I'm an investor, I'm interested in your property. You want to put offer in on it. Obviously you want the number to work. So for instance, let's say they got it for $15,000. You can sell it for $15,000. So you tell them, hey, can you do it for $12,000? They say yes. You get it under agreement for $12,000, and then you push it to your buyer for $15,000, and that $3,000 difference is going to go in your pocket. Okay, that's how you do that. So just go ahead and position yourself as the buyer, because you're working with the buyer. So as long as you get that agreement in place, you have equitable interest. So go ahead and do that, and then you work out the paperwork that way. Or you can call the person with the deal directly, the other wholesaler, and let them know, hey, do you want to ask them if they would like the JV? They can say yes or no. And if they say yes, you explain to them, hey, I got a ton of buyers. They buy these properties all the time. They can close quickly. They're ready to go. Would you like to partner up with me on this? And if they say yes, you guys pretty much discuss the figures. Usually it's a 50-50 split. So you just put a JV agreement in place, and you guys, let's say they have it under contract for $10,000, and you're sure your buyer will buy it for $20,000. So y'all got a $10,000 spread to share. They get $5,000, you get $5,000. So it's a win-win. So that's how that JV works. You guys just put a simple agreement in place. I've also done these verbally. Luckily, I've been in a space where I didn't have to have any scarcity or any like nervousness about the people who I was working with. I didn't ever have to put a JV agreement in place. Now I have before. I'm not saying I never did with JVs I've done. I definitely have with some JVs that I've done, but there's a ton of JVs I did where we didn't put any contract into place between us. We just trusted each other's word, and it just worked out, so thankfully. But if you are new, you're in a market where you just don't know, you don't really trust, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with putting a JV agreement in place, so you can do that. So go ahead and do that. Once you guys do that, you go to the closing table how you would any other type of way. So this is something that you can do very easily to close out on transactions, and you don't have to pay for any marketing, and you can build your buyers list for free. So that's the way that you can make money getting started very quickly to build yourself up, to establish yourself. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. If you would like to learn more about how all of this works, some other strategies, if you need help with paperwork, if you don't know how to get paid like I did when I first started, or any other issues, I'm going to be hosting a free training very, very soon, and I'm only allowing a handful of people to come in and be a part of that free training. This is not a free training that I'm going to be blasting to everybody or spamming to anybody or selling or anything like that to anybody, like through any platforms. I'm just going to be specifically hosting it privately to a handful of people that just really want to learn and get started. So that's what I'm going to do. If you are interested in joining that training when I have it, go ahead and let me know below. Wherever you're seeing this, whatever platform you're seeing this on, go ahead and message me. You can DM me, comment on this, or below. Just let me know, yes, I'm in, I want to join, sign me up, whatever. And then I'll have somebody from my team go ahead and get you in the position to be a part of that training. It's going to be super, super fire. I'm going to give you guys everything that you need to know. So definitely look out for that. Until the next one, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.